You saw it all last year, and, well, you just saw it in the second game of this year. Michigan State grinding it out against a top 25 team. Let's go.
You are Locked On Spartans, your daily podcast on the Michigan State Spartans, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Today's episode of Locked On Spartans Live, if you're watching on YouTube, is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you will get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Download the app today. Spartan friends, Spartan family, Locked On Spartans listeners, how on earth are we all doing on this beautiful Saturday night, Sunday morning? Maybe you're listening on Monday. Whenever you're listening, hey, thanks a lot, guys, for making us your first listen every single day right here on not just the Locked On Podcast Network, but, guys, the newly minted #1 sport podcasting network. God, that's right. Which, like, quick aside here, thank you guys. And obviously this goes across the entire Locked On channel, all the great shows that are out there. But hey, thank you, the listener, the viewer, for helping us make us #1. Please rate, review, subscribe, comment below your thoughts on today's top 25 victory against Arkansas, because, yeah, that will be the bulk of the show on this football bye week. And God bless basketball. God bless Tom Izzo. God bless Cam Ward. God bless Coen, Carr. Oh, man, a bye week in football means that, yeah, we get to smile about something because, yeah, basketball took the spotlight, and we're going to give it all the shine here as they win 69, a very nice 69-66 against Arkansas. And Tom Izzo, as always, no one sums things up better than this man right here. He said, quote, "That was a hell of a game for November 8th. Did that not feel like a late February, early March, dare I even say mid-March game right there at Breslin Center? And the atmosphere matched it. The play on the court, for the most part, matched it. We'll get into some things that we're a little worried about. But look, when you win against a top 25 team, we're gonna shine your shoes here for a little bit. We're gonna talk about all the good things that happened here because, guys, that was a straight up Tom Izzo ball win right there. Arkansas is a good team. Let's not get it twisted here, but cool, sweet. You're longer than us. You're more athletic than us. Yeah, that's sweet. Fine, whatever. Yeah, we're just gonna out rebound you by 12 rebounds. We're actually, as a matter of fact, over here we're gonna grab 19 offensive rebounds and we're gonna get 18 second chance points off of it. That's cool. Yeah. Hey, John Calipari, as always, all that guy does is just recruit McDonald's All-Americans. Arkansas, you're coming up here with 2 freshman McDonald's All-Americans. You got a third that, is around for a sophomore year. Yeah, that's fine. That's great. Awesome that you're coming up here with 2 supremely talented freshmen. We got Cam Ward up here. Yeah, sure, he just snuck inside the top 50 in the rankings, but he's going to put 18 points and 10 rebounds right on your dome. And also, yeah, whatever. We can't shoot worth a damn up here, at least so far this season. We couldn't throw the ball in the ocean if our toes were standing on the tide on the beach, but it doesn't matter. We're going to get to the free throw line for 26 attempts. We're going to get assists on 18 of 25 of our baskets. We're going to backdoor cut you to death. We're going to make it work on offense, even though we can't shoot the basketball because, damn it, we are a team coached by Tom Izzo, and that is just what we do here. And we're also going to throw a whole lot of defense at you. Guys, look, that was no sugarcoating it. I don't think any of us are right now, but let me just be another person to do this in exclaiming how great of a win that was for Michigan State. Now, did they need this win? No, guys. It's the second game of the season. By all accounts, this will be a fine year coming up. My God, is it a really nice one to have? I mean, yeah, I would seem to think so here. Look, Arkansas, they were 5th in the SEC preseason poll. Right now, if you want to go to the computers here, BartTorvik.com, they have Arkansas as the 5th best SEC team in that conference and also a top 20 team going into this game, just like the AP poll had. Anyway, you slice it, that Arkansas team, really strong team. But this is what I love about Izzo. Does this every single year. Us Michigan State fans, we know this, obviously, is that he schedules got harder than some NBA schedules that you'll find in the month of November here. And it's great because, look, MSU loses this game. Bummer. Obviously, we're not in a good mood, but who cares in the grand scheme of things? Like, the tournament committee's not going to dock you for it. Yeah, it's a quad 1 loss. Okay, that happens. It be like that sometimes. But, oh my, if you win this game, it's a resume booster. Certainly. Now, whether that means, like, this will bring Michigan State from a 3 seed to a 2 seed or a 7 seed to a 6 seed, like, there's a lot of season left. There are some issues with this team, but there's also a lot of good things with this team. Whatever it is, like, this is going to be another notch in the belt when it comes to be tournament time. And look, I got no issue saying this. Obviously, I'm a massive Michigan State fan. I'm going to go ahead and assume that you are a massive Michigan State fan out there. I think that the majority, if not all of us, can agree with this. But look, the win aside, that Arkansas team, like, pound for pound, is more talented than Michigan State. Like, I don't think there's much of an argument for that. Whether it's the pedigree coming out of high school for these kids, like Darius Acuff, for example, which, my God, what a baller that guy is. Or, some of the length that they added in the portal, the athleticism that they added. Like, for Arkansas, that being their second game as a full unit of the season on the road, like, that team is only going to get better. You got Arkansas, and look, Michigan State, could they beat them in the middle of the season? Should they meet up again? Yeah, like, this Michigan State team's only going to get better too. But man, like, Arkansas, I think, was the more talented team in this game. But this is the beauty of sports. This is the beauty of college basketball, is that just because you're more talented, just because you also have a Hall of Fame coach, like, that doesn't mean that you're going to win these games, right? Because you know what wins games up here in East Lansing under Tom Izzo, and has been for the better part of 2 going on 3 decades, is grit, cohesion, experience together, defense, certainly. Look, defend, rebound, run. You got 2 of the 3. You got defense. I mean, they played outstanding defense for the better part of the game. Got a little hairy there at the end. You rebounded, obviously, just like we said. You got a dozen more rebounds than Arkansas did. Now, running, Arkansas did beat you in transition, but it wasn't like a blowout in that game within the game. But still, you get the point. Hey, that's cool. You got talent. Got a lot of other cool things going on up here in East Lansing. Now, one of those cool things is, my God, a freshman that, like, we were right on this show, but not right enough about, apparently, is Cam Ward, who is obviously the greatest college athlete named Cam Ward of this century. Like, I think that goes without saying. There's certainly not anyone else that could even be a close runner-up to that. But look, we said on this show coming out of high school that, yeah, like, he seems to be a guy that's ready for college. Like, he's got the physicality, he's got the tenacity. We'll see what his offensive bag is all about once he gets up to this level. But at the very least, like, he's going to have a role on this year's team. But my God, I didn't think he'd be putting up 18 and 10 in any November game, let alone the one against a top 25 team, a top 15 team, depending on where you're looking. Cam Ward balled out today, and I actually watched the game again, like, after this one. Put the kids to bed. I said, I'm going to watch the bulk of that game again because, yeah, I remember, like, Cam Ward had some bunnies. There were some guys that gave him some good dishes for some easy hoops. I was like, was it just all that? Was it kind of like the Matty Sissoko games of, like, a few years ago against Gonzaga and the Champions Classic? And yes, he had some good moments there, but a lot of those were like, oh, the ball just kind of fell in his chest on a rebound, easy putback. Was that for Cam Ward? And it happened a few times, but, like, no. Like, I mean, some of these are straight up, like, buckets you would see out of a junior, right? Like, a guy that has been in the college games for quite some time. I mean, he also had some grown man rebounds, not just defensively, but on the offensive side too, just snatching that ball away from Arkansas players and saying, no, I would actually enjoy this ball in my hands that's about to go right in the hoop. I mean, he's got the footwork. He's got the ideology of the basketball game because, look, second collegiate game, 4th if you want to count the scrimmages. I mean, and of course, practicing under Tom Izzo and, the great roster around him doesn't hurt either. But, man, like, I saw it on the replay distinctly. Like, Jaxon Kohler has the ball. A guy leaves him to go double team Jaxon Kohler, leaves a hole in the low block, and instantaneously just slides over to the low block, asks for the ball, easy bucket. Second half, I mean, he sees a guy just gambling, overreaching a little bit. All he does, bang, drop step, easy layup. Really reminded you of another guy by the last name of Ward here a few years ago that was really good as a freshman down low in the paint. But, man, Cam Ward, what a coming out game for this kid. Could not say enough good things about him. I mean, 18 and 10. in a game where there are other McDonald's All-American freshmen on the court, like, I know obviously they played very good. Darius Acuff, Malik Thomas, like, for the bulk of the game, though, Michigan State had the best freshman on the court. Would you look at that? Who saw that one coming into this game? I didn't, but I'm glad to be surprised. Guys, we're going to talk a lot more about who's shined in this game. What we're a little worried about, just 2 games in, we're going to talk about hockey for a little bit here and then get to a few of your thoughts at the end. But first, you need to talk all your ears off about Wayfair. That's right, guys. Because, yeah, holiday season coming right around the corner. Before we even know it, I actually can't believe how close Thanksgiving and Christmas are. And that means it's time to get your home ready. Whether you need more seating for guests, cozy new linens, or fun serveware for holiday hosting, whatever it is, guys, Wayfair's Black Friday sale is here to help you make your space shine. The best part is you don't have to wait. Wayfair's Black Friday deals are happening all month long. Yeah, like all month long, not just on Black Friday, but just November. Point blank period. Save up to 70% off of everything from sofas to spatulas, whatever it is, guys. Check it out on Wayfair. If you've ever hosted family for the holidays, you get it. You know how much a difference just a few touches can make. Wayfair is going to make those touches even easier, guys. Don't miss out on the early Black Friday deals. Head to wayfair.com now to shop Wayfair's Black Friday sale for up to 70% off. That's right, 70% off, guys. That's WAYFAIR.com. Sale ends December 7th. Also, guys, hey, Alumni Hall, because just like we said, holidays are going to be here before we know it, and give your loved ones or give yourself the best holiday shopping experience with Alumni Hall, because they got the largest selection of officially licensed gear. We're talking Nike, we're talking Columbia, Champion, Yeti, New Era, so much more. Like, whoever is on your Christmas list, like, that's the gear that they want. Or again, maybe even it's you. And guys, they got apparel for the entire family, talking kids, adults, hats, tailgating gear, whatever it is that you need, Alumni Hall has it, and they're going to take care of you if you are in the Spartan community, because Michigan State students, faculty, as well as military and all first responders, you get 10% off with a valid ID in the store. And on top of all that, hey, go ahead and follow Alumni Hall on social media and download the Alumni Hall app, because you're going to find more great deals there. So what are you waiting for, guys? Before the whole holiday shopping experience really ramps up, head to Alumni Hall in the Eastwood Town Center in Lansing near the Apple Store, or shop online or through their app. And best part is, for every $150 you spend, you'll get $10 in hall cash to use for the next time. So what are you waiting for, guys? Grab that new game day look or upgrade your tailgate with Alumni Hall, your ultimate Michigan State shopping destination. Now let's keep talking about this game. Who was a star in this 69-66 win for your Michigan State Spartans? And yeah, we're going to go from one freshman to another. Might as well just keep the theme going, right? Because Jordan Scott, yeah, sure, like, it doesn't pop out at you, but 6 points, 7 rebounds, and it's a good enough performance where you forget about those 2 free throws that he missed to ice the game at the very end. Like, who cares about that? It's okay. Everyone's missing free throws for Michigan State, apparently. What makes him different? But look, guys, what makes this important for Jordan Hall, and just, like, screams from the mountaintops the confidence Tom Izzo has in him, he was in that winning time lineup. Like, whether it was that odd gap of like the 5 minute to the 2-ish minute mark, or down the stretch into like the last minute and change, whatever it was, he was there. I mean, and sure, like, we're going to have a conversation about this too later on in the show with things we're worried about. Like, is this a thing of like against Kurtang? Has he already lost confidence entirely in Kurtang? But I think for this matchup individually, with how long and athletic Arkansas is, and with also like how productive Jordan Scott is too, not taking anything away from the kid, but maybe this is just like a better matchup. Like, let's get the 6'7", 6'8" Jordan Scott out there. But when he was out there, I mean, golly gee, like, he looked ready. I mean, we've also said during this offseason, especially with this injury to Caleb Glenn, a guy that plays the 3, a guy that needs to add shooting, he's out for the year. Next man up, Jordan Scott, he has to grow up very, very early, because we need a 3-man off the bench, or apparently a 3-man to play during crunch time. And Jordan Scott, even if you go back to the exhibitions, has looked every bit of the part here. So just wanted to shine a light on him really quick as we get into the seniors / really experienced guys. And obviously Jeremy Fears, not a senior. He's a sophomore by eligibility, actually. But look, I mean, odd diagnosis of his game coming from me over here, because yes, the box score says 0 of 7 from the field, 3 turnovers. Yet I feel like overall he was a positive in this game, and maybe maybe I'm outing myself as a Jeremy Fears homer. Maybe I'm, just admitting that I hold more Jeremy Fears stock than anyone else in the stock market right now. But I think even with that slash line of 0 of 7, 3 turnovers, he had a team high +9. And obviously that's not the only stat you look at when you watch a game, but 9 assists on the game, 6 free throw attempts. And that doesn't even count the fouls that he drew that didn't amount to any free throw shots. And this is what we talked about with John Neighbors of Locked On Razorbacks, which I love that episode. I love talking to John Neighbors, Locked On Razorbacks. We talked about that. So Jeremy Fears, it's not fun to watch, especially if you're an opposing fan, but his foul baiting bag, oh God, it's amongst the best of them in the nation, isn't it? Obviously there's a lot of other great things about Jeremy Fears' game. His assist, the way he sees the game, he's a great just leader on the court. But man, golly gee willikers, that man knows how to draw a foul, and he did so in this game. It was certainly an impact, and overall too, as if you had any questions about, okay, well, who is the quarterback of this team? Who's the leader, so to speak, of this team? Jeremy Fears is the thermostat on this team. He decides the temperature of the game. He can crank it up a little bit, but never get too high. And he did it in this game, even though he wasn't totally effective offensively. I mean, from shooting, of course. My God, he injected his attitude in this game, and based on people that were actually at the game, as if it didn't become more apparent on television. You talk to people that were at the game. Jeremy Fears got under the skin of some Razorback fans, and that's another thing that we talked about. Not just Jeremy Fears and trash talking, but the physicality of this game that Michigan State was going to roll in with. Because if you listen to the post-game press conference after the Colgate game, Tom Izzo, not a happy camper with how his team played. You knew this team was going to come with some dog in them, just on the physical aspect. But you crank up what Jeremy Fears offers, not just with his play, but also, maybe a little bit of side chatter. That clearly got under some, Razorback players' skin. Maybe Trevon Brazil, who whacked a Izzone member with his towel after the game. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go check my Twitter, Sheehan_sports. Yeah, check out that video. Guy had 3 points, 4 fouls. And they weren't even matched against each other, but Fears went out of his way to, let him know that you ain't playing too good and I run this place around here. But look, let's talk about more Michigan State Spartans before we talk about other things in this game, guys. Coen Carr, you talk about having your presence felt before the under-16 timeout. And no, I'm not just talking about taking the court with a 7XL shirt. I like that dunk. I like the putback that he had. He had 12 points in the first half, kind of silent in the second half. He had a little bit of foul issues, but yeah, overall, 15 points, 7 rebounds for him. Jaxon Kohler. I mean, just a weird way to dissect his game because he was not great on paper in the first half. 2 of 7 from the floor in the first half. I mean, he netted out just fine overall in the game here. What was he? Let me look it up. Yeah, 10 points, 7 rebounds. I just ho-hum for him. But man, of those 2 of 7 in the first half, I truly felt just bad bounces. And I hate to make excuses left and right for every single kid, but there were some, it's that little jump hook that he had a few times in the first half, that would have counted at that arcade game at Chuck E. Cheese where that laser would have counted that as a bucket, but just bounced out. So I don't think it's indicative of, truly what Jaxon Kohler is so far. We've seen enough of him, especially last year, to know that he is a better player than what he showed tonight. So yeah, nothing much about Jaxon Kohler. Fine game from him, but hard stuff there. And then Carson Cooper, 9 points all in the second half. And look, some of them were served on a platter to him, but I also do want to give him credit for some of these alley-oop finishes. And maybe it's just because as Michigan State fans, the last 4 or 5 years, we're just so jaded in seeing alley-oops go to the 5th row or just completely botched by the center. I don't know, maybe I'm just a victim of what we have experienced the last 4 or 5 years, but those were some good finishes on the oops from Carson Cooper. Overall, fine game. Again, against a team that is, long. I mean, obviously the length doesn't bother a guy like Carson Cooper, but the athleticism that Arkansas, especially their transfers, all have. Yeah, I thought it was a good game from him. So yeah, obviously great game overall for Michigan State. There are some worries though Again, we're just 2 games into the season. 4 if you want to count the exhibitions, and some we've been talking about ever since the offseason. And we will get to some hockey talk. We're going to get to a few of your guys' thoughts too, but we do want to talk about, what are we a little worried about here with this team? But first, guys, you need to talk your ears off about FanDuel. That's right, America's #1 sportsbook. And yeah, if you're like me, you're going to be firing up this NFL Sunday. Because if you're like me, you love your same game parlays with touchdown scores for Detroit Lions. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here. We're going to go both tight ends, Sam Laporta. We're going to sprinkle some Brock Wright in there. And then why not Amon-Ra St. Brown? That's right, the sun god. But let's say that you want a full break from NFL. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on all the action than with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Guys, let's say you missed the start of the game. You want to ride the hot hand. FanDuel has live bets on everything from who's going to score the next bucket to the fourth quarter comeback. And hey, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game more exciting, especially when your team is making that late game push. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when you win that first $5 bet. So what are you waiting for out there, guys? Head to FanDuel.com to sign up today and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Now look, over here in East Lansing, yeah, hey, top 25 wins, they're fun, but we also do have expectations. And let's talk about these, because what's going to keep Michigan State from accomplishing more than just a fun season this year? What are some worries that we have for this year? Now, the first bullet I have here is called Harry Finish, because that was kind of a stumble to the finish line. Let's just call it what it was there. I'm not sure how much I loved for that brief minute or two at the very end that lineup of Jeremy Fears, Divine Ukachukwu, Cam Ward, Coen Carr, Carson Cooper, and I understand, hey, Cam Ward, great game. Coen Carr, awesome player. Jeremy Fears, I just said how good of an offensive performance he overall still had, even though he was ineffective from shooting. But my God, it's not like Cam Ward is elite yet at creating his own shot and his own offense. Coen Carr, hopefully it'll become more of a thing that, he can be more of an offensive weapon. But outside of that, who's generating their own shot here? Let's talk about it, because that Carson Cooper, floater is what we'll call it, or that mid-range jumper, I don't care what you want to call it. It happened with 6 minutes and 2 seconds left, and that was Michigan State's last field goal of the game. They got to the finish line by way of free throw shooting, which they missed a few, obviously, but it's a lazy sport talk radio topic to bring up, but maybe there's also some legitimacy to it. Who is the go-to guy late? Truly, who's manufacturing their own shot? Who's getting you automatic points on the low block? Didn't really necessarily see that. You kind of were just, hey, that's cool. We got 5 minutes left. This game is going to be clearly a first team to 70 sort of win. Let's just pray that we get there, though, because I don't know how we're going to get to up to 70 points. And luckily 69 was enough today. But, oh, boy, that's going to be something that we put a pin in. Other things that, we're kind of worries about today's game, and this isn't a long-term worry yet. It's kind of an issue in the first game against Colgate, but my God, can anyone, please, just someone make a layup that's not named Cam Ward? Michigan State was 9 of 18 on layups today. And again, I'm not panicking long-term yet, or maybe I'm just convincing myself to not panic about it long-term, but you make, you go 11 of 18, we're not sweating this finish of the game, right? I like to think that you can go more than 50% from your layups, but again, we're just going to put a pin in that, and we will not put a pin in this. This is a full-blown problem, I think. And maybe it's just confirmation bias because I've been thinking about it ever since the offseason, or we could all just have a real conversation that, yeah, three-point shooting is going to be a issue this season. Similar to last season, because last year was not fun. 31.1% from three-point land last season. That was 320th in the nation. That was horrible. Now, yeah, sure, they had that random 2-3 week blip in February that looked okay, but Michigan State, 1 of 14 today from three-point land, and yeah, it was a well-timed three-pointer by Trey Fort early on in the second half, and this is an encore to the performance of 6 of 21 against Colgate. I forgot what the percentage was against UConn. It wasn't great. Bowling Green, I don't think, was great either. Look, point blank, guys, there's not a lot of people on this team, if any, that have a career track record of being able to adequately shoot the three-point ball. I get Jaxon Kohler. He shot 37% last year from three-point land. That wasn't even on 2 attempts per game. Like, yeah, hey, Carr, he made a few threes in the NCAA tournament. That was fun. I needed a larger sample size than that. Like, yeah, Kurt Tang, he's billed to be a shooter. He's not so far. Trey Fort, yes, he does have good percentages here and there throughout his 16-year collegiate career, but you need to see more of it in Power 4 basketball when he does play against those teams. You guys know my qualms with it. If you've listened to any of our episodes about basketball leading up to the season, like three-point shooting is going to be a massive, massive issue unless someone surprises us this year. And so far, unfortunately, it's going very according to plan. Like, there is no surprises so far. And I'll say it again, just in case by chance this is your first episode. Yeah, it's not just 3 points are worth more than 2 points. And that is what is fun in basketball. No, it also really affects floor spacing too. You want to get into the lane? You want Jeremy Fears going downhill? Well, I'll tell you what's not going to help. Just all 5 guys being in the paint because no one respects your three-point shooting. Like, hey, that's fun that, Carson Cooper is, drilling these 10-footers or, Jackson Carr's got like this 8-foot turnaround. Like, that's not really like my favorite shot in the world. Maybe that'd be a little bit more free if you could drag some guys out on the perimeter. But no one on this team can. Again, like, it is fun to laud this team for winning in spite of all of that. But, that's a little bit of a concern. Just like, we are going to put a pin in this next topic here. Kurt Tang, 6 minutes, 0 of 2 from the field. He did not start today like he did against Colgate and the other 2 exhibitions. And again, like, did they just opt for the length that Jordan Scott offered against this long, athletic Arkansas team? Perhaps, but I don't know. That's something that we're going to be watching here. Like, are his minutes trimmed against San Jose State coming up on Thursday? Are his minutes trimmed against Kentucky in the Champions Classic? So, yeah, I think that Izzo has shown that he's going to give Kurt Tang, like, as much chances as humanly possible. Showed it by putting him in the starting lineup in the first 3 games, but that's just like interesting. Like, we're gonna, again, not panicking, not saying that his career's over or that he's already in the transfer portal, but like, we're just gonna put a pin in that for Kurt Tang. Now, really quick, guys, we might get to a thought or 2 of yours at the very end, but let's talk hockey. Because, like, your number 1 ranked hockey team, all they do is just bludgeon top 5 teams that they play against. They took care of Boston University on the road earlier this year, and now they hosted number 3 ranked Penn State. That's right, Penn State, who's spent a good chunk of money on their roster. And that's not to say, like, Michigan State has also spent some money too. Like, let's not get it twisted here. Like, these guys, Porter Martone, I don't think he just came here for free. You call me crazy. But anyway, marquee, top 5 matchup, which is broadcast, of course, on Big Ten Plus. Great priorities there, Big Ten. But yeah, all Michigan State did was just get 2 more wins against a top 5 team. Friday night, 2-1 in overtime. Tiernan Shouty. I mean, I get that both these rosters were draped with NHL talent. How about a 4th-line guy, Tiernan Shouty, who's been here forever? He gets the overtime winner. Now, Trey Augustine, the goalie that you probably already know about, he just let up 1 goal this entire weekend. It wasn't this game. Yes, it was to Gavin McKenna, but who cares? That was his only point in the entire series. 1 goal on 24 shots on Friday for Trey Augustine. And Penn State's goalie, actually, like, he stood on his head pretty well on Friday night. 2 goals on 30 shots. That is good for 93% save percentage. And then they, of course, naturally switched their goalie going into Saturday. Now, this kid for Penn State still had a fine game. 90% save percentage on Saturday. But, man, when Michigan State is out shooting you in every single period, yeah, still might not be enough because Michigan State, they get the 5-0 win on Saturday right before the basketball game. Now, Charlie Strammel, just a ho-hum 4-point game, 2 goals, 2 assists. Daniel Russell, he gets 3 assists. I mean, Porter Martone, yeah, he had a goal and assist. And Trey Augustine, 0 goals. He faced 36 shots, 9th career shutout. And as the hockey heads say, the Michigan State Spartans have a wagon of a hockey team. Now, guys, let's get to a few of your thoughts here because on Twitter, I tweeted out, give me some of your thoughts. And the first thought we're going to go to is Dave, who writes in, Carr's shirt under his jersey just wasn't big enough. Gotta know, like, surely you guys have been at Breslin Center. Maybe you've caught one of those shirts to throw out during the timeouts. Usually Delta Dental is the sponsor of that. They come in like 4X shirts. Like, they are shirts that could not like possibly fit like just like even a person like Coen Carr. I'm wondering if he's wearing that shirt to like put a governor on him. Like, hey, you're high flying, you're the most athletic guy in college basketball. You have to wear something that resembles a parachute just to make it a little more fair to everyone else on the court here. But yeah, fascinating undershirt choice by Coen Carr. Mataverse wrote in, Welp, stop me if you've heard it before, but shooting is going to be a problem. Hell of a win, but 1 of 14 from 3 is almost impossible. Yeah, truly can't tell if I should be more of the, that's really impressive that you won in spite of that, or, could be a problem moving forward in this season, but we also did the sun and dance throughout all of last year, and it turned out okay for Michigan State. Pablo Chacon writes in, Ward come-out game was well-timed. 3-pointers made equals a Final Four run, and then team win, and writes in, imagine if Glenn was healthy. You know, just 2 games into the season, 2-0, vibes are great, life is good here at Michigan State, but, man, Caleb Glenn, I would take anything to have like a guy that shot like mid to high 30% from 3 right now at this point. Now, TC3 writes in. Now, TC3 is an Arkansas fan, so it was great to hear from that. I've had nothing but good interactions with Razorback fans, even though I botched the Woo Pig Suey in our crossover episode. I still feel horrible about that. But anyway, TC3 out of Arkansas writes in, gritty win by Sparty. They will grind you, and great atmosphere helps. Got Hogs at a perfect time. I don't think they have the horses to win this game in a month against that type of talent, but today is all that matters. I can't like argue too much against what he said. Like, Arkansas, I think, is going to be a really good team moving forward. Now, do I give Michigan State a 0% chance if they faced again in a month on a neutral court, for example? No. But, like, I'll tell you what, I don't want to see this Arkansas team in the tournament after a full 4 or 5 months of unity, cohesion, chemistry. I mean, figuring each other out, having those 2 dynamite freshmen play more than just 2 college games. It's going to look good on the resume for Michigan State. Was a great win tonight. But, God, I think very highly of that Arkansas team going away from this game. Dakota writes in, the transition defense seems subpar, and we could stand to take better angles on our entry passes, but the defense and rebounding were up to snuff, and we didn't collapse, and Arkansas mounted a comeback. This exceeded expectations for me. Yeah, the transition defense I thought was interesting, or just the transition game as a whole. I think maybe because Michigan State played more of a big lineup for a lot of this game. You saw a lot of like the Kohler and Cooper out there along with Carr. I mean, certainly Jordan Scott, like, it's not like he's this lumbering oaf of a big man, but you had a lot of length. You had a lot of action going on down low for Michigan State. And, of course, the turnovers in the second half didn't help either, where Arkansas was able to get off and running. And it certainly did seem like they had the better transition game on the whole, specifically in that second half, though. So, but I agree, like, this exceeded expectations for me. And I said as much in my little first half recap video that I did on Twitter. I feel a lot better about this team than I did before the game tipped off, and that is because like Jeremy Fears, even without being effective from offense, like still played, I thought, really well in the first half, and more so just these freshmen. Cam Ward, Jordan Scott, thought they'd be fun pieces, thought they'd be good role players, and they still will be, but more than competent role players. Like, not guys that look like they're just treading water out there and you're just waiting to get to a timeout to get some more experienced guys in on a substitution. No, they look legit so far out there. So Luke writes in, speaking of these guys, how long until Scott and Ward are starting? I'll tell you what, Scott's closer than Ward, for sure, even though like Ward had the better of the 2 games today. But yeah, maybe it's Scott just because can you plug him into the 2 and have that be sustainable more long term? It doesn't seem like Izzo's really too sold on the other options at the 2, whether it is Kurtang, again, a guy played 6 minutes, or Trey Ford, who good offensive player, but today I really feel like you saw what Izzo was talking about in the offseason with the defensive lapses that he had. Now, it didn't happen a lot, but there were 2 instances where he took a quick trip out to Mars and just forgot his guy, let up a wide-open 3 in the first half. And so, okay, that's the kind of stuff Izzo was talking about. And if you can't defend Frisbee, you can't find the court. So do I expect either will start anytime soon? Not necessarily, but if there's one guy that's closer, I do think it is Jordan Scott, because maybe his prospect at the 2 maybe isn't too far-fetched as a starter. Lucas writes in, team needs a backup point guard. Hopefully a new guy will grow into it. Of course, he's talking about Divine Ukachukwu. And then wrote in, offense was blah without fears, hoping to regress to the mean in three-point shooting. Look, this is a post-game victory episode. I don't want to be too mean here, but boy, howdy, is backup point guard underwhelming, and our expectations were near the bottom going into this season. But that's the joy of it just being 2 games into the year. A lot of room, a lot of time to improve here. Rachel writes in, Jeremy Fears is an absolute menace on the court, and the entire non-MSU Big Ten is going to absolutely hate him. I texted this to a friend group, which I do have. I do pay them to be my friends, but I do have friends. I texted them like halfway through the game. I would stab my television if I had to watch my team go up against Jeremy Fears. And I don't care that it's foul baiting. Like, that is part of the game in basketball. And also, us as Michigan State fans before last season, like the 5 years prior, we ranked outside like the top 300 in getting to the line. This is great to be on the other side of things. I love watching Jeremy Fears do this. He has this down to an art, a science, technique, whatever you want to call it. I love being a fan of Jeremy Fears, because being a fan of a team that goes against Jeremy Fears has got to be hell on television or in person, wherever you're watching this game. Now, the last one we're going to read, guys, is TC writes in, notice who's on the floor in the final 2 minutes, Jordan Scott. Along with Ward and the freshman coming in next season, Izzo is really building something for the next 2 to 3 years. And guys, do want to bring this to everyone's attention. Next Friday, 4 p.m., Ethan Taylor, top 30 kid, number 2 center in the nation. He's also going to commit somewhere. It's down between Michigan State, Kansas, Indiana, Oregon. There's another 5th team, which who cares? Keep your eye on that, because, 2026's recruiting class, Carlos Medlock, Julius Avent, Josiah Jervis already is looking pretty good. You add Ethan Taylor into the mix, and then, Cam Ward is a sophomore. Jordan Scott is a sophomore. Kurt Tang, if he could figure it out. I mean, as a junior. Jeremy Fears for a 4th year. Yeah, I'm having a good time. And then in 2027, like, those kids are sophomores. Jordan Scott and Cam Ward are juniors. You get, what would that be, a 5th year of Jeremy Fears? Like, yeah, I can make that work. Izzo's cooking. 70 years old, and he is in the lab just whipping it off right now for Michigan State fans. Oh, God, I love it here. Oh, man. No, I'm not going to say it. I was going to say, if I were to say something, and again, we're keeping it upbeat, we're keeping it positive, we're not doing a lot of football talk, but if I were to say something to end the show, again, this is all off the record, I would say that, man, I do kind of miss hating bye weeks, because that meant football wasn't playing and I would miss football. But like, it was kind of nice to actually love a bye week. Like, no football. And again, I'll still watch. Like, I'm still a Michigan State fan. I'll still root for them against Penn State, against Iowa. Woo, okay, go get them against Maryland. Yeah, whatever. We all get it. It was nice to just like not think or watch football this week and just like watch a team that you smile about, right? God, it was great. God bless basketball. God bless hockey. God bless women's soccer. Let's go. Turn it up. All right, guys. We're doing it. Right here on Locked On Spartans, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Again, guys, the #1 sport podcast network out there. And that's thanks to you guys, because you guys are all the great viewers, the great listeners, everything. You guys are the best. All right, guys. Until next time, we'll see you sometime Monday. We already got some good guests lined up. We got Chris Fanini. We're going to be joined with Locked On Nittany Lions during the week. We'll be talking some basketball. Yes, we're going to get more into the San Jose State game on Thursday. But guys, hey, you know where to keep it. Hold on. Someone writes in, Matt, will you perform at my birthday? Yeah, drop a lot. Yeah, lockedonspartans@gmail.com. Yeah, I'll be there. Sure. Why not? Who cares? Yeah, I'm in a good mood. I'll agree to anything right now. And actually, speaking of lockedonspartans@gmail.com, one more thing. And after any and every Michigan State football loss, like 20, 30, sometimes 40, I think after the UCLA game, it was 50 emails right there, lockedonspartans@gmail.com. After this win, not a single email. So I don't know if we're just a miserable show and misery loves company, or if people just went straight to their happy place and just started celebrating and they didn't even care about the show, which I get it. Hey, whatever it is, that's quite the thought and social experiment going on right there. But guys, hey, until next time, love you all. Go Green.